is up, YouTube? World's okayest farmer. Today's project, 17 F250. I have a broken stud for my wheel. I think it has to do with a maintenance event. I had this truck inspected a year ago. When I had it inspected, the next day I heard like a rattling noise. I came back, I pulled my wheel cover off here, and the lug nut and stud were rolling around in there. So I think they over torqued it and it snapped, but who knows. So anyways, a year later, I know I should have been replaced a while ago. I'm replacing this wheel stud because I got to get my truck inspected again and it won't pass. So fixing the problem. Step one, get yourself a bigger garage. This little dinky garage that we have here, it's nice for some things like storing stuff, but it's not nice for any of my equipment. So I got it backed in here so I have a little workspace, and I like jacking on solid ground, not dealing with the gravel driveway until I can get my other shop built. So anyways, get it jacked up. So I'm jacked up here, got it off the ground. I got a wedge, chalk in front of the other tire so it doesn't roll. You can set your e-brake for safety. Use a jack stand so YouTube watchers don't lose their mind. And once you got a jack stand in place for safety, I don't have a lot of room there. Go ahead and pull this cover off. This is aftermarket. Mine uses a hex head, so find out one that fits. Get that off. All right, I got my Milwaukee work light here. Using the Milwaukee Impact. It's best to use a clutch drill, especially if they're stock. You can operate the clutch as a safety and not destroy anything. But I'm gonna take it easy and use trigger control. All right, so I'm gonna do that, remove all these, get this cover off. Well, first things first, make sure you have the correct side. I took this cover off, it was not, it's been like a year. I thought it was on the driver's side. It was the passenger side. Right there, busted off. That's what we're gonna be replacing. So I gotta move the truck. All right, so I moved over to the other side. Got the jack in place, got the jack stand in place. I got a chalk under a tire. The internet safety police should leave me alone. OSHA approved. So, next, all right, we got my broken stud here. I found my lug nut. It was in my adapter for my lug nuts in the truck. That was smart of me, because I was like, I have no idea where that's at. If you don't have this bad boy, you need one. You're missing out. This is the Impact from Milwaukee. Fuel, I believe, 1/2-inch drive. This thing, it's like 1,400 foot-pounds of torque. It makes things happen. It's worth, I don't know, $350. This thing has different settings on it. I got it on the lowest setting, and we'll see if it'll break these loose. Make sure, yeah, we're going the right way. Getting it slowly. Alright, so yeah, lowest setting will get it, but I'm going to turn it up 1. I'm going to turn her up to 2 because that takes too long. Just showing you the power of it. Alright. No problem. That's on the second setting. Alright, I'm going to put you down and get these off. Alright, got a 1/2-inch drive, 24mm, and I'm going on this bolt right here. Top and bottom. There's one on the top, one on the bottom. That will remove the caliper. You can take these bolts out right here and remove the inner part of the caliper if you're changing brakes or whatever. I'm just gonna remove the whole thing, take the whole caliper off, because I gotta get the rotor. I gotta get the rotor off here to get to my studs exposed and replace that. I try to lubricate all this hardware so it comes out pretty easy. It breaks loose. You can see there, it's got anti-seize on it. That's the top one. I'm working on the bottom one right here. I'm gonna have to take the weight off the caliper to get that out, so I'll bring you right back. Take this bolt out. It's the bottom, and then you can pull your caliper off. You want to support it, otherwise you could have problems. I'll bring you right back. Alright, these can be a bit of a chore. I put this on a year ago, so it shouldn't be too bad, but the one that before that, it was a real pain. I use a dead blow. You usually want to beat them around the drum, and then there's a dust cover on the back, but it's exposed right here, so as long as you have a soft face, you can beat against that and start working the rotor off, and then you can rotate it. If you need to rotate it, you can put a bar in here. I usually get my my pry bar, put it in there, and you can rotate it and keep beating it evenly. I'm gonna try smacking this. So there's an emergency brake inside of their shoes, and they kind of hold on. They're the one. That's what's kind of the problem. When you use your e-brake, they expand. So I'm going to work on this, keep doing this until I get it off. And if you're rotating this, you got to have both sides off the ground, so the other side's got to be off the ground to rotate this. Alright, so I got this, you know, just prying on the back of it, moving it around, beating on it. Got that off. It's a nice new rotor, no problems there. And you can see where my stud broke off here. They're pressed in from the back. So you got to find a spot behind here where you can get the new stud in, as you can see. What I'm going to do is put a punch on here, drive it with a hammer to get it out. Okay, I put some WD-40 on the front and on the back, hit it with a punch, my hammer. It's not really moving, so I'm gonna let that penetrating oil seep in there and sit for a bit. I gotta run to town and I'll come back and deal with this. So when I got home last night, I came out here. It was getting late, so I wasn't gonna work on this, but I wanted to see if I could get that stud out, and I did. I just took this hammer and I blasted it. It was only sticking out about less than a 1/4 inch, so I just hit this right against it, and it ended up pushing out a little bit on the backside, and then I hit it with that punch and it popped right out, but I didn't get it on camera, so I think letting that penetrating oil sit there helped, and it's out. So now it'll be easy to put the new one in. Quick process. Just hopefully it fits, but put it in from the back, and then we're gonna put some washers on the front and suck it into place. I got these Dorman wheel studs. Here's the part number, 610-530. I believe the back are different than the front from what I was told, but I got like I don't even know, a 10-pack for 18 bucks. So that's what they look like. There's the part that grips, presses in. So we're gonna put it in from the back, and we're gonna put washers on the front and suck it in. Let's see if I can get it in there. There we go. So rotating it around, you can see there's a bit of a gap there. You can put it in and come through the back. You gotta find a spot where you can have the room to get it in. There it is. And then we're just gonna suck it in. We're gonna put some washers on the front, run a lug nut on there, and it'll pull it right into place. All right, I put some washers on there, and we're gonna run the lug nut on there with the impact and suck that into place. Here we go. Make sure we're not running out of threads. Not out of threads yet. So I'm going to step up the torque. Okay, we'll take her to setting 3. She's seated. Starting to damage my washers. All right, so that's how you seat those. Take my washers off, damage this front one. It's a thin one. And the stud is mounted. Now I'm going to do everything in reverse, put my rotor back on, caliper back over the rotor, and put the wheel back on. Tighten all the lug nuts down, and that's how you replace a wheel stud on these Super Duties. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, please subscribe and help out my channel. Appreciate it. Got the rotor back on, pushed it on, tap it with a soft mallet in place. Put the caliper back over the rotor, put my 2 bolts in the back, tapped it on also with the mallet. Now I'm ready for the wheel and then the lug nuts, and put the cover back on, and it's done.